Yay, it's working. Okay,
It's
I'm gonna mute
working?
myself. Yep.
Oh, I see it. It says recording. Okay, yay. Thank you so much for joining us whenever it is you jump into class, whether you're doing the recording or not. We have figured it out. So it'll be a Zoom link from now on, but Steph will have that all figured out for you. If you'd like to use any props today, I'm going to recommend that you keep a towel or blanket handy. We're going to be doing a little bit of massaging through the spine, and it might be handy to have that. And also, because I mean, why not get a little wild and crazy? If you have any kind of TheraBands or like workout resistance bands at home, I'm going to throw those in as well. Totally not, you know, like need them. You can definitely have an amazing Pilates class without them, but like, we've been doing these for a while now. Let's like throw in some stuff if you got it. We're going to start on hands and knees. And of course, just moving through the spine, you can also come up onto kneeling if your wrists are not feeling super duper fabulous. Coming into our breath, as you inhale, you're going to lengthen your chest through. Maybe you get a little crack every now and then. I get a crack of my sternum there. Lengthening your tail out behind you, opening your chest. Worry a little less about what your low back is doing and think more like you're pulling your chest forward. And then when you're ready, as you breathe out, you're going to scoop, tuck, and round. Press the floor away, hollow the belly. As you inhale, lengthening out through your tail. Again, opening, it's like you're trying to pull your chest through your hands. And as you breathe out, scoop and round. To add a layer to this, as you inhale, can you feel like you're trying to externally rotate, like you're trying to corkscrew your hands into the floor so that your underarms are sort of radiating forward. And then as you breathe out, you're going to round and feel like you're pressing the floor away. And as you do that, it's like you're trying to go the opposite way. You're trying to corkscrew your arms in towards center, or out and around, I should say. And then as you inhale, they come in towards center. I mean, it's a circle, so it's going to like energize around. And then exhale. So just sort of getting a little bit of warming up, a little bit of energy, not just to the front back alignment here of our spinal breathing, but also adding in some circumduction, some around the worlding, some circling of our arms. One more time. When you're ready, rounding it up. And then just to make this a little more kind of customized to you, you can take, let's say 8 breaths. If you'd like to add some side bends in here, if you'd like to add some like jump rope, hula hoopy type things, if you feel like your head really super needs to hang, maybe you want to push back into a bit of a child's pose, you can do all of that stuff. 8 breaths. You can also start to circle our energy around our wrists. And then bring it forward and in. So we're going to play with a super fun plank series today. And it can be done, I'm going to save it until near the end. So we're really, really efficiently warmed up. And know that it can be done in multiple ways and in multiple different experiences. So you're always welcome when we're planking to come onto forearms and knees. You can come onto forearms and toes, hands and knees, right? Like there's lots of different ways to do that. And then last little thing for the wrist, you can kind of shake them out, maybe interlace your fingers and do a little wave, or one of my personal favorites is you're going to flip your hands in, so your fingertips face in towards your knees, palms up to the ceiling, and then you're going to pull your knuckles in. It's kind of hard to see on camera. If you can, that's my fingers spread out, and then this is with my fingers in. Gently releasing that bit of a stretch, sending your weight back, giving those wrists a little shakety shake. Okie dokie. We are going to sort of start like right with it. So if you would like to take your little towel thing, if you have one handy, and you're going to roll it up so you're creating a little bit of a blanket sausage, and you're going to set it up so that it lines up with your low back. So we're going to flex out through those feet. You can kind of hold it there for this first one if you'd like to. We're going to scoop and tuck through that low back. Once your low back finds the floor, you can release that towel and then melt yourself all the way down. Now you might find that you don't actually need this little towel here, but if it feels like it's going to help you get up, then we're going to go there. We're going to, again, flex out through the feet, keep the heels down, zip up through those thighs. Take a breath in to be here, please. And as you breathe out, we're going to take those arms back behind us. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, they take it back. And as the arms are reaching back in space towards whatever's behind you, can we notice what happens to the rib cage, especially because you have this towel maybe at your low back? So as your arms go back, can we think about the ribs drawing down for right now? So they're actually trying to create resistance with each other. We're going to add a little arm circle to this, again, getting those shoulders really nice and warmed up. Inhaling. As you breathe out, we're going to take those arms back and then circle them all the way around. Inhale, they reach up. Exhale, to take it back. Circling all the way around. 2 more. Inhale up and back. Exhale, circle. I don't have quite enough room on that left side, so don't mind my arm as it kind of does a little chicken wing. Reverse this. Inhale to open the arms out, back, and around, and then exhale to bring it up. Continue that circle as you're moving here. Just again, getting the movement happening through the shoulders here without any weight bearing on them or on them. Keeping the legs nice and zippy, keeping those heels pressing into the floor. This next one's going to be different. Circle those arms back around and then pause. So arms are off the floor, biceps are by the ears. Arms are nice and strong. You're going to inhale, start to reach the arms up, start to nod your chin. And then you're going to super duper scoop into that rib cage. Maybe scoop your low back into that little towel as we press and curl all the way up and forward. Maybe you get a bit of a hamstring stretch here. Doing your best not to sort of melt into that. We want to stay nice and active. Inhale, roll your spine. So you're sitting up, tail, mid spine, upper spine. And then as we breathe out, we're going to look at that fleshy low belly space. Keep your heels into the floor, rolling all the way back down. And my hope is that now that towel is there, it kind of gives you extra support to roll up and to support yourself down. As you breathe out, nod your chin. You can give the arms a little reach if you want, but scoop and hollow the belly. And then it's like you're lifting up and over a beach ball as you take that little forward hamstring moment. As much as you can, ripple and roll, tail to head to sit up nice and tall. As you breathe out, scooping through that belly first, tucking the tail underneath you and rolling all the way down. Now, if this is not an option for you for disc purposes, you're always welcome to plant your feet and move into more of a hip bridge so that you can get that spinal articulation however it's best for you. Inhale to roll up nice and tall. Exhale to scoop and tuck and roll it back. Good. 2 more. I'm hoping that over time, as we're warming up here through the spine, it's getting a little easier to curl up and curl over here. Again, that's what that little towel is there for. You might find, I don't know if I can do it without today, you might find that you don't need it. And you can control your spine all the way up and all the way down. Here we go. Let's see if I can do it. Definitely different. Okay, we're going to roll our spines all the way up. Now it's going to get kind of fancy. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense the first time. I'm going to talk through it lots. I'm going to talk through lots of versions of this. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Those arms can be reaching forward. As you breathe out, you're going to scoop and tuck that low belly just to get to that half roll back. So just so you're on the back of your sit bones, you're going to walk your feet up, keep scooping that belly, and then maybe those legs lift to a little tabletop. They're not going to be like really tight to you. And then can you super slowly start to roll your spine all the way down so that you land, ta-da, with your legs in a tabletop, your torso on the floor. Once you get here, you're going to plant those feet to the floor and then reach the legs out nice and long. Arms reach up overhead. Take your breath in, they reach up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, nod your chin, scoop through that belly, roll all the way up and over. Inhale to roll to sit up tall. As you breathe out from that low belly, find that half roll back and then keep scooping, right? We want to make sure we're not pushing our bellies forward, that we're hollowing them in. We bend our knees, plant our feet on the floor. Once you found a nice scoopy scoop of the abs, you're going to lift those legs up maybe. And then from here, can you like super, 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 super slowly. Ooh, I'm starting to edge off my mat. I got to scoot forward. Roll so that you land with a scoopy belly, legs tabletop. Plant one foot to the floor. Okay, we're going to keep going. I'm going to throw some mods. If your low back does not like scooping like this, you're just going to stay down. Hands can come behind your head. So if you're fine rolling up, rolling down, keep doing that. I'm just going to give you lots of options. If your spine doesn't love that, you can stay in a nice neutral pelvis and add some ab curls in here. You can also lift those legs up to a tabletop and then keep that going, yeah? So lots of options if your spine doesn't like rolling. If you're a rolly spine person, arms are up to the ceiling, take the arms back behind you, reaching the arms up, nodding your chin, scooping and rolling all the way up. If you have a stretching band, you're welcome to place it in your hands. Roll your spine up nice and tall. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, we scoop into the low belly. We plant our feet on the floor. And then when you're ready, if it works, you're going to lift those legs to that table. And then if you have a band, you're going to kind of place it on top of your thighs, super slowly roll down. So ta-da, you end up in a little ab curl with your hands pressing on the band, and then roll yourself down. If you're an ab curly person and you have a thorough band, don't worry, we're gonna meet all together and you'll have a chance to collect it. Inhale, arms come up. Let's do 2 more rounds. If you're curling up through those ab curls with yourself, nice neutral feet on the floor, feel free to take a little break and then come back to it. Breathe out, scoop through that low belly, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Keep scooping and hollowing, lift those legs one at a time. Place the band on top, and then with so much control, we lower. We find that moment where you're in an ab curl, and then we lower down. And then plant our feet. Last one. When you're ready, arms reach up to the ceiling. So we're getting lots of mobility going through the spine today. Rolling ourselves up into your half roll back. Planting your feet on the floor. Okay, so this one is going to be different. If you're a leg lifty person, we're going to lift those legs. We're going to place the band on top, and then we're super slowly going to roll down. And this is where we're all going to meet. If you don't have a band, you're just reaching the arms, or maybe even one arm. You don't need both. If you have a band, you can lace it over your thighs. If you're imprinted here, you're imprinted. If your spine doesn't love that, you can also be neutral. We're going to take a breath in. As you breathe out, can you press down into the band and use it as leverage to curl up a bit higher? Inhale to release. As you breathe out, press and curl. Inhale, little baby, release. 3 more. Exhale, press and curl. Remember, you can always use no band and press down. You can always take a hand behind your head for 2. One more time, we're gonna press. Lift the arms up, keep the legs up, but lower the head. If you need to lower your legs or bring them into your chest, you totally can. Remember, the band is just an option. If you have them at home, if you don't have one, don't worry about it. You're still gonna get lots out of this. Okay, when you're ready, we meet with those legs in table, belly scooped. Holding on to your band if you've got it, or reaching your hands by your hips, or just one hand, take your breath in. As you breathe out, you're curling up. We're gonna do it again. Inhale, exhale, press down in space. Inhale up. Exhale, scoop and hollow, making sure, again, you're not pressing up through the belly button. As you press your hands down, whether it's imaginary or not, you're scooping through that belly a little bit more if you can. Inhale up. Last one. Lift the arms, lower the head, take a little break. Breathe in. As you breathe out, we nod and we curl. 5 pulses. Inhale. Exhale to press down for 5. Inhale it up. Exhale to press down for 4. Inhale up. Exhale, press down for 3. Scooping and hollowing. Let's go for 2. One more time. Press, press, press. Lift the arms up. Lower the legs, or sorry, lower the head, but keep the legs up if you can. Last set here. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, nod and curl up. Inhale. As you breathe out, whether you have bands or not, you're going to press your arms down and then hold them there. Little ab pulses up. 10, 9, 8. You can always use no band and have one hand behind your head. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Bring your knees in. Woo! That is some spicy business through the belly. Okay, we're going to do that whole kind of series again with a little bit of a different flavor to it. So if you're rolling up, you're rolling up. If you're not rolling up and you're doing hip bridges, do that. If you're doing ab curls, do that. Yeah. Arms are going to reach back behind you. Band or no band is fine. Inhale to reach up to the ceiling. As you breathe out, is anyone else like, oh God, my abs? As you breathe out, nod your chin. Curl it up, curl it up, curl it up, curl it up. Beautiful. Inhale. Now, if you had that towel at your low back, once you kind of went into your scoopy belly, that was my bad for not telling you to take it out. You're going to take it out. Keep scooping through the abs. Lift legs up one at a time. Maybe hook a band. and then scoop and roll down. So right here, you might find that you love keeping a towel there. You might not want a towel there. All right, if you have a band, you're gonna take the left one under the right, so you have two in your hands, left hand behind your head. If you have no bands, you're going to keep reaching the right arm out and over to the right, left hand behind your head. You can be neutral or imprinted, it's up to you. If you're a band scoopy person, maybe try imprinted. We're gonna pulse the arms down here, down and down and down and down. And as you press, watch that the legs don't get carried with the band. They're staying nice and neutral. We're here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Wherever you are, pulse it up to the right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you swap it under and over? Whew. Maybe take a little break if you need it. I know I need it. I'm going to wiggle down because I don't want you to lose me on the mat. Okay, you're holding on with your left hand, both of the straps. Right hand is behind your head. You're curled up and over to the left. Take your breath in. As you breathe out, you're pressing your left hand down. Keep going. I'm just going to turn myself around so you can see me. It's about 7. Exhale, press down for 6. Remember, you could have no band here. You could be working just through pressing. You could also have no arms. Yeah, you could also have your feet on the ground. So many ways to work here. Let's go for 2. Watch to make sure the legs don't come with you. Last 1. Little pulses up to the left. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it in. If you have a band, you can ditch it. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little cradle rock side to side. Let's take those knees over to the left. Right arm up. I taught that in a class last night, and I was like, whew, I know it's tough, but how tough is it? Okay, that is tougher, Rama. Breathe it in, hand out, and then through center, over to the right. Little twist, breathing it in, and out. And then when you're ready, bringing yourself, let's come right up onto our backs, feet planted on the floor. Now you're going to imagine like you have a band if you don't have one. And even if you do have one, let's like leave it there. So you're going to super duper press into your left toe, or into both of your toes, sorry. Arms can maybe reach up to the ceiling. You're going to press into your toes, and then very slightly, can you open your thighs a little bit wider than parallel? So they're not totally parallel, but you're going to keep pressing into those big toes. You're going to take a breath in, please. And as you breathe out, without rolling your spine, can you squeeze your glutes and lift your hips up? And so notice my thighs are not in their widest abduction. They're just like a little opening, but I'm pressing into that big toe. From your expression of a shoulder bridge, you're going to scoop and roll your spine down 1 vertebrae at a time until you find the bottom. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, squeeze your glutes, lift it up. From here, scoop, tuck, and roll it down 1 vertebrae at a time. That's the rhythm. Inhale, press down through those feet, squeeze your glutes, and lift it up. From there, you scoop, tuck, and roll. And of course, like all of this massaging and articulation, if that's not at all something that your body's happy doing, then don't do it. You can do a little bridge for sure. But if your vertebrae are able to articulate and lengthen as you're moving in space, feel free to explore that. Scoop, tuck, and roll it down. Pressing into those big toes. 1 more time. Fire the glutes, lift it up. We're going to scoop and roll our spines. Okay, here we go, team. Pressing into your feet, especially the big toe. Thighs are a little bit wider. Fire through those glutes. We're going to lift our hips up. We're going to stick our bums out to lower tap and then lift. Lower tap and then lift. Lower tap and then lift. Down and then up. Down and then up. And as you're doing this, can you please keep pressing into those big toes, widening through the outsides of the thighs. And so you're creating your own internal resistance as you're working here. 5, 4, 3, 2, You're gonna hold it at the top. You're gonna do a little micro pulse up, micro pulse up. So it's a little bit tinier this time. And the energy is more about up to the ceiling, opening nice and calmly through those collarbones for 5. Remember, you're still pressing across your foot into your big toe. Last 1. We're gonna very calmly lift our heels and then put them down. Lift your heels and then down. Heels and then down, and heels and then down. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, for 1. Gently lower, massage your spine down. We're gonna right away round 2. You're pressing. So if you were to put a distribution, let's say that our 30% of our support is happening from your second toe to your pinky toe, and then 70% is in the big toe. That's how much it's pressing. When you're ready, you're lifting your hips up. Remember, you're that little bit open through the thigh. Once you found the top of your shoulder bridge, massage and roll all the way down to the floor. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, fire the glutes, lift it up. And then scoop, tuck, roll, massage to the floor. 3 more. Fire the glutes and lift. From here, through that sternum, roll, slinky it down, releasing your tail. 2 more. Press through that big toe. Fire the glutes and lift. Slinky it down. 1 more time, pressing through, and then we're lifting it up. This is where we speed it. So we're down and then up and then down and then up. And I kind of want us to avoid the feeling of like squeezing at the top. I want it to be so quick that the second you're up, you're down, and the second you're down, you're up. Like if I was taking pictures, I wouldn't be able to catch an up or a down. For 10, 9. The whole time, remember 30 and 70 with that weight distribution, thighs opening up for 4. And you're trying to drag your tail to your heels. Last 1, little micro pulse up, little micro pulse up, little micro pulse up, and up. For 10, 9, you got it. 8, ribs are down and in. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, hold it here. You're gonna lift your heels, hover and down. Up and tap, up and tap, up and tap. For 10, 9, down, 8 and tap, 7 and tap. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let the thighs come towards center. Roll all the way down. Give your legs a little shakety shake, shake, shake. All right, we're gonna come all the way around onto our bellies, please. Whew, tough work there. Love it. You're going to place your legs so that they are mat distance apart. Fingertips can interlace, and then you're going to let your head rest down. Legs are externally rotated. We're going to flex our feet, bend our knees in so our heels are squeezing, and turn those thighs out a little bit, yeah? So we're gonna try to scoop, scoop, scoop towards that pubic bone, hugging those heels in. I don't want your hips to completely lose the mat, but I wanna make sure they're not pressing down, right? No hips are pressing down here. Scooping into the rib cage. Head is resting on the hands. You're very nice and calmly going to squeeze those heels together as if you were trying to squeeze like an orange. And then you're going to lift those legs up off of the floor. Inhale to lower them down, squeeze through those heels, and then exhale to lift it up. Good. Now we want to try to eliminate as much borrowing from the low back as possible so that this can become very strictly glute and hamstring. Inhaling to bring it down, and then exhale. So if you imagine like a dinner plate on your heels or a cup of tea in China on your heels, you're trying to press that up towards the ceiling. And the whole time that's happening, you're trying not to sit into your hips so you get a false sense of lift. Scooping through, and then exhaling to lift. Bringing it down. We're gonna go for 4. Gentle lower, let's go for 3. Gentle lift. Let's go for 2. One more time, we're gonna lift up. Now from here, can you keep firing? And I'm hoping you're feeling like smiley part of bum cheek and sort of like deep bum cheek. Scooping towards pubic bone, not hip bone. So your thighs are barely gonna lift off of the floor. Hug the heels to your glutes. You're gonna do a little butterfly pulse wide, a little pulse wide, and a little pulse wide, and a little pulse wide. It doesn't look like much to look at, but whoo, small and mighty. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, last 1, squeeze, 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 gently release those legs out. Give your hips a little zhuzh. I'm hoping you were like, oh yeah, that was some tush in there. Okay, we're gonna take those hands. We know this is my favorite. Well, you're like, might be like, Dom, I have no idea what we're doing next, which would be fair. I haven't told you. So my favorite for getting into that mid back, legs are gonna stay mat distance apart, externally rotated, scooping through that pubic bone, and then melting your torso down. Your hands are connected through the forearm and into the elbow, and they're not super tight to you. They're like mine are about mat distance apart. We're gonna bring the shoulder blades onto the back. Feel like you're snuggling the shoulder blades towards each other. Little lift of the head, and then gently starting to lengthen the collarbones through. So we're back into that sort of like cow belly, right? That opening where we were inhaling before. And remember when we were on our hands and knees, we were talking about corkscrewing the arms wide or corkscrewing into external rotation. I kind of want you to feel that here, like you're trying to close the gap underneath your armpit. Take a breath in here. And then as you breathe out, you can gently melt it down, but keep the belly, the glutes, and the legs active. As you inhale, feeling shoulder blades onto back, little hover of the head. And then as you breathe out, you're lengthening out and up, shoulder blades onto back. And again, it's like you're trying to corkscrew your arms into some external rotation here. Taking that breath in, and then exhaling to melt it down. 2 more. Inhale, drawing shoulder blades onto back, lengthening up as we breathe out, up and through. Still keeping all of our points of contact on the floor. And again, trying to scoop to pubic bone as much as possible. Gently melting it down. We're warming up into that mid back. Last one, onto back. Legs active, lengthen out and up. We're gonna stay super active through this mid back. We're gonna start to lift the forearms and the hands to hover up off of the floor. We're going to rotate the palms to face in and then keep rotating them so they find as much external rotation as possible. And as they do that, hug the shoulder blades on the back. Lengthen the chest through. Keep scooping to your pubic bone. Gently internally rotate and then plant those hands down. We're going again. So I know that I'm like super sitting into my hip bone. So I'm going to lower my torso a little bit. And I'm thinking that might be more sustainable for me. Lengthening up through the forearms and the hands. Rotating so that the palms face in, and then keep rotating them. So sometimes we do like a thumbs up pull apart. Today, I want you to feel like you're rotating, 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 and feeling right into that mid back. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, de-rotate. So I find that lowering my torso here is allowing me to keep my scoop to my pubic bone a little bit better. Let's do 2 more, please. Lifting up through the forearm and the hands, rotating in, and then keep that rotation happening. And remember, it's like we're trying to squeeze that armpit down and into itself. Holding it here, and then rotating it back. Last time, lifting up. Oh, she burns. Rotate in all the way around. Hug the musculature on your back for 4. Fire up through those legs. 3. Lengthen long from head to tail. 2. Scoop to your pubic bone. 1. Gently de-rotate, lower down, take a little break. If you'd like to push back and take a bit of a child's pose here, you totally can. Whew. I'm going to grab a little smidgen of water. My fancy new cup from Starbucks, very on brand for Dom. Whew, that mid back, she working. All right, let's come all the way back down. So we're gonna go 1 arm at a time here, because I really want to like get that focus going. So right hand is going to come down beside our hip. Now your legs are up to you. You can bring them parallel hip distance. If you're feeling like this pelvic thing is really working for you today, then you can squeeze the legs together. You also have your blanket. So if you're finding like it nearly impossible to get to your pubic bone, slide the blanket underneath your hips, not your pubic bone, your hips, and it'll just give you a bit of support. Okay, right hand is coming down beside that right hip. Whew, legs are active. I already feel my mid back. I'm really hoping you feel yours too, so we can be in this together. Okay, shoulder blades are gonna roll onto our backs. We're gonna lift that right arm up. It's fired, it's ready to go. Legs, toenails pressing into the floor, scooping to that pubic bone. And then let's lift that upper body up off of the floor. Now, little housekeeping, your left hand can come down. It doesn't have to hover off of the floor. That left hand, maybe your fingertips are glued to your forehead. We want to make sure our shoulders aren't squeezing up to our earlobes. I want us to please feel that really lovely connection down our backs. That right arm is nice and squeezy squeezed. We're going to inhale to open that arm out beside us to a T, and then we're going to keep rotating it. And as it comes overhead, it's like we're trying to shake someone's hand as we come up overhead. And then we're going to internally rotate thumb down, squeeze that arm back in, sort of like you're doing a breaststroke. Flip so the palm faces down. It's going to open out beside you, and then by the time it gets to like T shape next to you, you're flipping that palm so that it's a thumbs up to the ceiling. And then we rotate in and we push away. Flip out, push it up overhead. Flip it in, push it back. Let's go for 2. Exhaling here. Last one. You're going to hold that arm up like it's in that diagonal, like it's doing that handshake, yeah? You're going to keep thumb up. You're going to lower the pinky edge of the hand to the floor and then really dig into that under armpit as you lift that arm up. Inhaling to lower pinky edge to the floor, and then exhale to lift it out and up. We're going to go for 3 here, please. Exhale to lift. Trying to keep those hips as balanced as possible. For 2, feeling the mid-back muscles working here to support you. Keep scooping to that pubic bone. Last time. You're going to lift that arm up. You're going to internally rotate it. You're going to squeeze the right hand to right hip. Inhale, bend your elbow. Exhale, squeeze tricep extension. You're also more than welcome if you have light hand weights. I really wouldn't do more than 5 here. You're welcome to add those in. Little bend, and then exhale, reach. Little bend, exhale, reach. We're going for 6. We're going for 5. We're going for 4. For 3. For 2. Last one, strong straight right arm, pulse it up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. You're going to place those hands underneath your shoulders. Give yourself a little press up. Maybe take a little shell stretch. But we're super not done with that side. Well, kind of. We're going to do some more things here. More things. We're going to keep pushing that floor away from us. Tons, tons, tons. Actually, maybe I'll come this side because we were just working the right arm. So I want to make sure that you can see me properly. We're going to take a breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to find your plank of the day. So whatever or however you're feeling today, maybe that's a knee hover, maybe that's a full plank, maybe it's a knees down plank, or maybe it's a forearm plank. I don't super mind. But from here, you're going to lift the left leg. Just lift it up, give it a little hold, and then put it down. And then left leg, you're going to lift it up, give it a little squeeze, and then put it down. One more time, left leg, give it a little lift, 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 lift. And then put it down, take a little break, maybe give your wrists a little shakety shake. If you're on your forearms, know that you're going to have a little less room for this and you might need to go a little sideways. You'll see what I mean. On your hands and knees, when you're ready, stepping back, finding your plank of choice for today. This time, that left leg is going to hover. You're going to take your breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to point that toe. You're going to squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in like you could kiss your knee. Inhale it out. If you're on your forearms, probably not going to have a ton of room. Oh, maybe you can if you lift your hips up, but then make sure you lengthen out. 2 more. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Take it back. One more time. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Take it back, lower down. Take a little break. And I know you might be thinking, but Dom, you said right arm. Where is this going? So glad you asked. So just as another asterisk disclaimer, right? You can be on your forearms, knees, hands and knees, toes, right leg. Please feel free to play. I'm only one person. I can only do so much at one time. It would be wild and crazy if I could do multiples, right? Okay. So wherever you are planking is where you're going to get to. So when you're ready, stepping it back, finding your plank. You're gonna lift that left leg again. You're gonna squeeze it into center. Give it a good squeeze, give it a good squeeze, give it a good squeeze. You're gonna take that right hand. Now keep squeezing your left leg up, right hand or right forearm, move it forward and in a little bit, and maybe you can pivot. Ta-da! You're in a side plank. Now maybe you're like, well, that was nutsos, and you'd like to come on to knees and elbows, elbows and toes, hands and knees, right? Or maybe that left leg is really happy being squeezed and you can keep it squeezing. You're pushing the floor away with that right side. That's what I meant about still working the right arm. For 4, for 3, for 2, and then you're super slowly gonna decelerate, decelerate, decelerate. Step your right leg, right straight hand back where it was. Reach your left leg back, lower down. Give it a little shake. Craziness. So as you're just taking a quick breather, if you're on forearms, and even forearms and knees, it's the same thing, right? So you're in your plank, you lift, you squeeze, you take that arm, you rotate it around, ta-da! Or you can be on your knees, right? Like it's totally, you can play with it. All right, let's leave that side, but don't totally forget about it because we're definitely gonna come back. And let's do the other side of our arm. Are we toasty? I'm toasty. All right, let's come all the way back down onto our bellies. Those legs can be hip distance apart and parallel, toes to the floor, or you can squeeze those legs together. Yeah, whatever's feeling good for you. Left hand comes to the left hip. Right hand can come down and it can always stay down, or you can fingertips to forehead it. Yep, I know we're all Pilates pros now, yeah? Pressing your toes into the floor, zip up through those thighs, shoulder blades on the back, and then without pressing your hips or your ribs down, you're gonna use your mid-back muscles to lift up. Mid-back muscles being the ones where we did that external rotation, yeah? So right hand can come down or stay lifted. That left arm is gonna start to reach out beside you, so it's in the shape of a T. Once it gets to T, or by the time it's here, I would like us to please be externally rotating. So it's like you're giving a thumbs up to the ceiling. Once you're in this like YMCA type place, you're going to internally rotate, thumb down, and then press that arm back beside you. Rotate, palm to floor, and then thumbs up eventually as you reach up overhead. Internally rotate, thumb down, and then squeeze it in. Rotate thumb up as we take the arm up overhead. Now, what's kind of curious about this as well is how you might want to rock across your pelvis, and it'll be really teeny tiny, but as you're moving, can you try to keep your pelvis as still as possible? Squeeze it in. We're gonna go for 2. Rotate, push and squeeze. Last one. Now you're gonna hold that arm up overhead. We're gonna lower pinky finger down and then lift it up. And as you're lifting, can you feel like it's coming right underneath your armpit? Yeah, that external rotation. Or I shouldn't say underneath your armpit. It's more like behind your armpit. Inhale down. One of my friends who's also a teacher and an anatomy geek like me, except she's kind of like more than me. We were talking about how brains process differently and how she and I will be talking about anatomy and we think about it so differently. Very cool. Last time, lift that arm up. Sweep the left hand by your left hip. You're gonna micro bend that elbow. You're gonna reach it back. Little micro bend of that elbow. Not forgetting about the lower body, which is doing so much work for you here. Exhale to reach. Little bend. Exhale to reach. We're going for 4, for 3, for 2. It's burning. Last one. Pulse that arm up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. And I feel like we did more triceps on the other side, so let's do a few more. Inhale, bend that elbow, reach back for 5. Inhale, little bend, reach back for 4. Little bend, reach back for 3, for 2. Last one, squeeze, 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 and then bring it down. Place your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up and back, and you can take a little shell stretch here if you'd like. Taking your breath in and out. And I'm just going to turn around on my mat so that you can see me as we do this other side. Now it's a little bit less of a surprise, this whole arm planky, rotation-y, leg lifty thing, but I'm still going to talk us through all of our options. Yeah, so you kind of know that there is support no matter what you're doing. And you might decide you have no interest and you'd rather take a little nap here, and I'm on board for that too. I support you here too. So you're pressing the floor away. You're feeling that kind of corkscrew energy of the arm, yeah, supporting you, zipping into that belly. And then when you're ready, you're going to step back into the plank of your choice for today. Now I am, actually maybe not, it kind of looks in the camera like my legs are really, really wide. They're actually not. They're like maybe hip distance. And then can you fire up into that right bum cheek, lift that right leg, make sure you don't drop or sort of change your posture, and then pop it down. Let's do 2 more like that. Keep pressing the floor away, lift that right leg up, give it a squeeze, and then pop it down. 1 more time, lift it up, pop it down, lower your knees, give your wrist a little shake. Not so bad, right? Heart rate up, my heart rate's up a little bit. Okay, we are gonna be sore tomorrow, friends. So let's press that floor away, zip into the ribs, toes are tucked. When you're ready, you can lift up into a knee hover, however you'd like to get there. Okay, so remember, if you're on your forearms, you're gonna have to pike your hips a little bit. We're gonna lift that right leg up, and then we're gonna squeeze knee to nose as if you could give it a little kiss. Inhale to lengthen out. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale to press. Exhale to squeeze. 1 more time. Inhale out. Exhale, squeeze it in. Reach it back, lower down. Give it a little shakety shake. Nice big breath in. And nice breath out. Okay, here's where we get super wild and crazy. So hands and knees or forearm or toes, wherever it is you want to get to. Taking your breath in. As you breathe out, stepping it back, find that plank. We're going to lift the right leg up. We're going to squeeze that right knee in. Now you're going to hold the right knee in as best as you can. Left hand or left forearm starts to rotate, and then let's pivot onto that left pinky toe edge. Ta-da! We're on your side, and you can put that foot down. You can be on your knees. You could be on your forearms. Again, it doesn't super duper matter, but maybe keep pushing that floor away. Yeah, keep staying connected to that serratus. That right leg stays lifted up with you for 4, for 3. We don't just fall out of this, right? We're going to decelerate, rotate back, step the leg back, lower down. Give it a shake. Really, really nice job, team. If you'd like to take a little shell stretch here, you can. Breathing it in. Breathing it out. Walking your hands. Let's just go for a little side stretch here. Over to the right. Calming down the breath. And then over to the left. Inhaling and exhaling. Back to center. And then roll it all the way up. Now we are going to return to that. But before we do that, we're just going to do one other thing. And for this last, let's say like 12 minutes, can we feel or can we try to bring a little playfulness into our movement? Yeah, like obviously we're working hard, but it can be playful and it can be messy. And that's kind of like part of it, right? Can you give your shoulders a big shrug up towards your ears, please? And then exhale, slide them down. Inhaling it up. So we've done a fair amount of work now into shoulders and back. So my hope is that you actually do feel kind of mobile and open through the chest. Can you take that left arm up, circle it around and back, and then it's going to come to the floor. Now your hand can face sideways, it can face down, it can face in, but it's not going to face back behind you, yeah? And then that right arm, same thing, and make sure it's at the same angle of whatever the left is. I like to angle mine down a little bit. We're going to try to sit up as tall as we can here as we go into kind of like a reverse push-up. So we're going to inhale to bend and then exhale to press it up. Now, if you are moving in a space where you have like a bench, or I don't want to say chair because chairs can fly out from underneath you, but something solid that you can maybe press yourself up on, go for it. Oh, I'm gonna, oh, sorry, excuse me. Bend and press. We're gonna go for 4. I'm gonna give you some mods, yeah? 3, so don't worry if you're like, there's no way this works for me. 2. Last one, you're gonna press so much that maybe your glutes lift. You're in a reverse plank now. You're looking over the horizon of your toes. Now, if these tricep dips aren't working for you, you're welcome to go back to what we did on the floor, but you'll just use 2 arms. You're welcome to come onto hands and knees and press away that way, more of like a push-up type space. Or you can come to kneeling and tricep extend overhead. Yeah, I'm sure you have your version as well that you like to use. Last one, bring it down, give your shoulders a little roll, give your wrists a little shake. All right, sitting up nice and tall, reaching those arms up and around, and then up and around. Feeling as much as we can that lift through our chest. So I've really today tried to give us lots of work through the mid-back to open up. We've been working from home a lot this year, so I want to give you something to kind of nourish your spine health. Okay, you're gonna add the dip. And then from the dip, maybe you press and lift your hips up. This is something I know we've done before together. Press and then lift. So if there's another version you prefer to do, no offense taken. I will never know. This is your practice, your choice. Good, little press. Strong arms. Now as you press those arms down, just making sure we're not collapsing into our chest, yeah? We're gonna go for 4. Honor any other sensations. Like I've got a funky shoulder, so if I go too far, it gets a little tingly. We don't want to work in that territory too. Lift it up. Okay, I'm so excited for this next part with you. Last one, lift up. You're gonna drop your hips just a little bit. You're gonna super anchor in your left hand, right foot, and then can you maybe tap left foot, right hand, and then come back down. Okay, wild and crazy. Let's try the other side. Super push with the right, as you tap left hand, right foot. And then we're gonna switch. Tap and down, and tap and down. This is what I mean about playfulness. It might be a little messy, super good for the balancing systems of our body, right? Like figuring out where we are in space. Can you even tap your toe in your hip? Oh, she says falling down. One more to each side if you've got it. Super duper press through those triceps. And come all the way down. Give your arms a little shake. Give your wrists a little roll. Again, that little sort of swoopity swoop. Or you can turn, come onto hands and knees and turn your hands in. Pull the knuckles in. Now I said at the beginning of this class together that we had like a super fun little plank series. And you've seen most of it now, but there's a little bit I would like to add on. Gently release, give your hands a little shake. So I will let you know, we're finishing with a little more weight bearing through the wrists for some push-ups. But that being said, you can modify that however you want to, right? Like again, if you have a bench, if you have a wall, you can press into the wall. You certainly don't have to be on your hands the whole time. So please feel free to play, yeah? Okay, if you're a wrist person, and to be honest, I've been doing a lot of push-ups recently with my knees underneath my hips in more of like a teeter-totter, and it feels much, much better. So here we go, grand finale. You're gonna press into those hands, spiral your fingertips in just a little bit, but even though the fingertips are spiraling in, can you still think about hugging into your armpits? Yeah, not too much because I don't wanna give you a weird like pinched tendon or anything, but feel those two dynamics working together. We're gonna inhale to bend down, bending into those elbows, and then exhale to press it up. Inhaling to bend, exhale to press. Inhale to bend, press. Down and push. Down and push. Now, if this is working well, whichever version you're doing, and you would like to add a little bit more, you can always step back into a kneeling plank, right? And work from there. You can always be in a full plank if that makes sense for you and your body. My body is going to much prefer kneeling this way. Let's go for 4, for 3, for 2. Okay, are you ready? We're adding the plank onto this. Last one. Set yourself up either on your elbows or on your hands. That right leg is gonna lift. We're gonna squeeze it in. We're gonna scoot the hand a little bit so we can pivot, 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 pivot. Here you go. Maybe you wanna reach that right leg. Maybe you have no interest. Maybe you wanna come down, right? Modified, play as you will. And then super calmly, can you de-rotate? Place it back down, come down, take a break, give those wrists a little shake. So we just added it all together. How much fun was that? Lots of oblique support there because of that push of the arm, right? That underside waist is like working, 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 working. Okay, last set. And remember, you can also be on forearms. Yeah, I'm not demoing on forearms because I can only show so much in one time, but like be on your forearms. Okay. Last set, here we go. Are we ready? Wherever you would like your push-ups to take you. In fact, let's set our hands a little wider for this round. I like to mix it up. You're gonna set your legs up however makes sense for you. Fingertips will face forward. Inhale to bend down, and then exhale to press. Remember, you can totally be, I don't have a camera set up at my wall, but you could totally be at your wall if that feels like it makes more sense for your experience, yeah? Now, once you've got the rhythm going, if you're like, yep, feels good, you can always scoot your knees back into a kneeling plank or be up in your full plank. That doesn't feel good for me. I'm gonna stay down here. Let's go for 8. And as much as for sure we're working into those pecs, 6. You are still working your back body here because we're not collapsing down, yeah? For 4. For 3. Here we go. 2. Last one, press it up, set yourself up so you're in your plank. On your forearms, on your toes, on your knees, on your hands, whatever feels good. Left leg is gonna lift. We're gonna squeeze it in. You're gonna take the right hand and reach up forward and around. Maybe to pivot. That's an Amber Alert. I'm sure we all just got that on our phones. You're here for 5. We're here for 4. Maybe that leg is still in. For 3, maybe it's reaching out and away. For 2, now don't drop out of this. Pivot, 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 pivot. Place the hand down, finish strong. Hold that plank. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Nice job. Give those wrists a little roll. That was so weird. I was like, that's not what my fire alarm sounds like here. Amber Alert. All right, let's use those hands to walk ourselves all the way up. Feel free to grab your little cushion or towel or blanket, whatever you have, just to sort of prop your hips up on. We're gonna cross that right leg in front of the left and then just gently melt it. Here, I'll scoot back a little bit. Gently melt it forward. So lots of playfulness in class today. I'm hoping everyone felt like you had options. If you didn't, please, please, please let me know. You can always shoot me an email. Walking those hands over to the upper left corner, feel the right hip hug back. We did work glutes. We always work glutes, but we worked them in conjunction with some back body stuff. So when we were doing those hip bridges, right, they were working there. And then when we were on our bellies and did those little pulses up to the ceiling, total glute there too. Keep walking your hands over to the left until your left hand finds the floor next to your left thigh, and then lift up into a side bend. So your right arm will come up overhead. Watch the shoulders don't get too squishy. Taking a breath in here and a breath out. And then you're gonna stay up. You're just gonna windmill yourself so that your right hand comes behind your right hip, left hand to right knee. So now I'm in a little rotation, lifting up and then zipping through that belly, spiraling and around. 2 breaths here, breathing in to grow tall. Exhale through that belly to give you a little twist. One more time, inhale tall. Exhale, a little twist. And gently turn your head back to center, release the arms. Any little wiggles you feel like you need to make them. And then that left leg is gonna cross in front and we melt it forward. So you worked through lots of mobilizing as well through the core, yeah? rolling up and rolling down. And even if you weren't, there were options to keep working too. So that again, there's something for everybody. Walk the hands over to the right corner, feel your left hip hug back. And then there was those pulses, right? Those were super fun. If you had a band, love to hear your thoughts. Walk your hands all the way over to the right so that your right hand comes down by that right thigh, side bending it, left arm up. So all of that really good work too. And then lots of mid-back strength and stabilizing in retraction and protraction, right? We want to feel like pulling and pushing. Bring yourself all the way up. Windmill the arms so that you arrive with your left hand approximately behind your left hip, right hand to left knee, sitting up nice and tall, and then through that belly, rotating around to the left. Inhaling up tall, spiral it around. 2 more breaths here. Breathing in. Exhale. Last one. Breathe in. As you breathe out, turn your gaze back to center. Let your arms dissolve. Inhale, big reach up overhead. As you breathe out, big squeeze. Thank you so much for taking this class. Whenever it is you take it, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day. And thank you for taking time for yourself. It's tricky to do. It's tricky to do. And so kudos to you for a whole hour.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great day.
You too, Miranda. Bye.
Bye.